What up, y'all? It's truly Kel. Bruh, I'm gonna start this video off with a disclaimer. If you know me, what I'm about to say about this man, it don't really sum up me as a person, because like I couldn't even let this one breathe. Like, you see, my lighting ain't even good, my camera ain't doing nothing right now, but bro, I got a little spoiled on this. I didn't hear his actual review yet, but I seen what this man gave this Lucki album. And let me just start off saying, this is wrong. Everything he is about to say in this video, no, it's not probably, it is wrong. Based off the rating I seen what he gave him, it's wrong. He cannot be trusted. This bald head, I'm not even going to talk about his physical attributes right now. But just know, I know why what happened to him happened to him. He cannot be trusted. This man cannot be trusted. Who gives him music? Stop listening to this man. Look at that mustache, bro. You cannot trust nobody with that mustache, them glasses, and this haircut. But I'm going to go ahead and listen to him, bro. I feel like he at least get the benefit of the doubt to be heard. I couldn't let this one breathe, bro. I couldn't let this one breathe.
Hi everyone, Itch the Knee I Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Lucki album, Flawless Like Me. This is the debut full-length LP of Chicago rapper Lucki, a guy who for years now has been playing the long game, taking his sweet time building up to the moment of a commercial album release, because the guy's been dropping.
Right there, I know, I may pause this video a lot. That's a W explanation for Lucki right there. That's a W explanation. I may even go as far as to say W dick riding. Maybe.
Dropping singles and mixtapes for quite a while now. Originally making waves when cloud rap was still in its prime in the early 2010s with projects like Alternative Trap and Body High. His sound has evolved quite a bit since then, but still plugs very deeply into this druggy, laid-back, disconnected vibe, which there's nothing inherently wrong with that. There's plenty of very psychedelic and surreal music to be had out there.
I feel like he doing all of this to like, he finna bring him up. He doing all of this to bring him up just to like knock him down, bro. I feel like he is that type of nigga. He is literally that type of nigga.
In hip-hop today. It's really a question of whether or not Lucki has made a defining record in this lane. Have his years of work actually added up into a sound and a skill level that leaves an impression? And in my opinion, the answer to that would be no, not really. Listening to this record, it's actually kind of mind-blowing. This guy has been at this for around a decade, and all that we now have to show for it is 22 tracks of very messy odds and ends. It's actually kind of embarrassing how little there is to this record. The flows are blatantly unimpressive. Rhythm, breath control, consistency, none of that is here. On top of that, Lucki's creaky vocal tone reminds me of a less dynamic Kodak Black or maybe a young Lil Wayne without the charisma or pen game or much of anything. But you know what? There's a lot of rap artists out there who may not be able to count a silver tongue as a part of their arsenal. Maybe they make up for it by being able to sing, or have an ear for a hook, or interesting production choices. But Lucki seemingly on this record doesn't have that either. I'm really trying to find something nice to say about this record, I am. But again, the flows and vocals are so one-dimensional and progressively get more and more annoying the deeper I get into the record.
Bro, niggas like him make me so mad, bro. I'm not a stranger to arguing with this man. I have argued with this man on Twitter before. I have. Because he do the same thing. He talk the same bullshit, bruh. This is the same man who gave a No Stylist, what did he give it, a 1? Because he gave Ken Carson a 0. You cannot trust this man. Nigga really made a fake video about Drake just to get his attention. Like, nigga, you are weird. You are weird. What is your point? At this point, he's just trying to make people feel like they don't know what they're talking about. Because this album is not a bad album. This is not a bad album. And I'm not only saying that because all I do is listen to Lucki 24/7. That's not why I'm saying this. It is some I wouldn't even say low points, but there is some points on this album where it could have been like, okay, Lucki could have did a little better, added a little bit more to it. But it's not a bad album. There is definitely high points on this album. There are definitely replayable songs on this album, bro. So I really don't understand what he trying to get to.
And while there's nothing inherently wrong with getting high in the booth, Lucki maybe sounds just a bit too high, especially with how he's stumbling through tracks like VVS Kiski. On the song Geeked and Blessed, there's a bar that he drops where he says he's higher than he's ever been, and it sounds like it. And look, on any given song, there's a degree to which this kind of stuff is okay, but in Lucki's case, it's just too far. It's too lifeless. It's too comatose. It's too soulless. It's too out of touch with reality. And definitely not in a fun way that's mutually intoxicating for the listener. Now, I will say this though, this lack of composure occasionally on a track or two will collide with like a glimpse of depression or a troubled past, especially on Droughtsky as well as the track DNA. And of course these shows of emotion do make for a more compelling listen, but ultimately I come away from these tracks more worried about the guy genuinely than I am just kind of simply
Nigga, everybody worried about Lucki. But it's been that way.
Enjoying them. The beats on this thing are also underwhelming as hell. There's maybe
Goodness, bro. You can't take this man serious. Him or that damn ugly flannel shirt.
Only a couple instances of an instrumental or maybe a horn line or a synth bit sounding bold or colorful. The unseasoned perks and washed out synthesizers on the opener, for example, are so quiet it's laughable. How are we this far into a career and we're getting instrumentals that are so painfully generic that you can get them just about anywhere? The beat on Brazy Weekend, despite its wild title, is similarly toothless. And the production, as well as the vocals on Life Mocks Art, are so awkward that it literally does sound like an attempt at mocking music as a concept. Even Tay Keith's beat on Been a Minute is no match for Lucki's very intimately mic'd vocal fry. I hear the back of this dude's throat more than I actually hear the clap on this track. And of course there's not really too much to report on the songwriting side either, as there's not a whole ton of lyrical focus across many of these tracks, and there's not a lot of choruses to these songs either outside of some limply repeated refrains here and there, most of which are so clunky and delivered so flatly and redundantly, there's not much about them.
Y'all may be thinking like, I may be agreeing with him because I haven't said nothing in a minute. I'm just taking all the bullshit in. He ain't making no sense to me. None.
Them that would actually be worth remembering. Lucki even fails to fully capitalize on moments like Capital Denim, for example, featuring Future, which, like, this is a pretty huge name to have on your project. You figured you would want, like, all your ducks in a row on this track, but instead, again, there's no strong hook. Not a whole ton of chemistry with Hendrix, though I will say Lucki vocally does sound a bit more awake here. Beat is generic as hell, and again we have a very abrupt ending that cuts the song short just before 2 minutes. I guess Babyface Ray on the song White House is a bit better of a fit for Lucki in terms of mutual energy, but the end result is just Babyface and Lucki sounding like they're in a competition to see who can be more sleepy on the beat. Good thing that horn line on the track kind of goes. I guess I do commend Lucki for taking the lion's share of the runtime on this project. It's definitely not overloaded with features. The quality of this thing really sits on his shoulders. And yeah, that's kind of the issue. He doesn't really have the delivery, the flow, the lyricism.
You can tell when a nigga never listened to days before. You can definitely tell. This nigga have probably never heard no Lucki. He brought up alternative trap, bruh. He listened to that and then listened to this and was like, what's going on? He didn't listen to anything else.
The versatility, the focus, or the energy level to be commanding anyone's attention for almost an hour. There are pockets here and there on this record that are somewhat of a vibe, but most of the time on this thing, the vibe is rancid and boring, as well as getting old fast. The final moments as well on this project are no more special than the initial moments on it. You could pretty much remix this track list into any order that you want and still have the same effect. An already lukewarm bathtub of expired cough syrup growing colder and colder and colder. I'm feeling a decent too strong 1.
This nigga is such a hater. He really said he was worried about Lucki and then made a cough syrup joke. This nigga, you cannot trust people like him, bruh. He is a loser. Yeah, I really don't know what else to say about this nigga besides him just being a loser and a hater, but that's nothing new. He gave No Stylist a 1 also. I think he gave it like a light 1 or something like that. And then he got his information leaked, bruh. I don't know. All I'm gonna say is I feel bad for what's... I don't know. I don't feel bad. This dude is a loser. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Do not trust Anthony Fantano.
Yeah, young nigga thinking it's a game. I told him come test your luck. Don't think about it much. I'm from the city where it's a routine just to fuck niggas up. Pop out the cut.